On June 6, 2023, Spanish police smashed through a seemingly ordinary apartment wall in Torremolinos. Inside wasn't insulation or brick, but a wooden crate hiding a dark secret kept for 9 years. What they found inside would solve a decade-long mystery and expose a monster hiding in plain sight. The story begins long before the Spanish police made their grisly discovery. It starts with a young woman named Sibora Gagani. Born in Albania in 1991, Sibora moved to Rome, Italy, as a child with her mother, Elisabetta. According to those who knew her, Sibora, affectionately known as CB, was a light in the room. Friends described her as having a bright, cheerful nature. She was strikingly beautiful, tall and slim, with long flowing hair. While she loved the nightlife and music, her mother recalled that Sibora had a gentle heart. She loved children and originally aspired to be a teacher, but like many young people, she also had dreams of the spotlight. She took a step toward a modeling career by winning a regional beauty pageant. However, dreams don't always pay the bills. To help her family financially, Sibora worked as a waitress, where her charisma made her instantly popular. Destiny shifted when Sibora was 18 years old. She met a man named Marco Gaio Romeo. He was 31 to 13 years her senior, handsome and charming. Sibora fell deeply in love, but unknown to her. Marco's charm masked a troubled history involving police encounters for violent behavior and drug use. A year into their relationship, the couple made a major decision. Marco claimed job opportunities in Italy were drying up. He wanted to move to Spain, specifically to Torremolinos in the province of Malaga. Elisabetta was terrified. She didn't like the idea of her young daughter moving to a foreign country with a much older man. But Sibora was an adult, and in 2011 the couple settled in the beach area of La Carihuela. Initially, things seemed fine. Sibora found work as a waitress, and Marco worked as a cook. But the fresh start was an illusion. It soon became clear that the problem wasn't the Italian job market. It was Marco. He couldn't hold down a job, and his true character, jealous and argumentative, began to surface. When Elisabetta visited them, she witnessed the decline firsthand. The home was filled with bitter arguments. By late 2013, Sibora was exhausted. She returned to her mother's home in Italy, confiding that she'd left Marco permanently. But, as is so often the tragic cycle in these cases, Marco followed her. He showed up at the family home, promising change and even proposing marriage. Sibora, wanting to believe him, went back. The violence returned, and Sibora told her mother that leaving Marco would mean disappearing. In June 2014, she moved into her own apartment, saying she felt free as a butterfly. Weeks later, she vanished. Marco gave conflicting stories, first claiming she left after an argument, then saying she was seen with suitcases. Her last confirmed contact was a WhatsApp message on July 7, 2014. He never reported her missing. Elisabetta did. With no body and no clear evidence, the case went cold. For 9 years, her family waited while Marco stayed in Spain, quietly rebuilding his life as other women later filed complaints against him. By 2023, 9 years after Sibora vanished, Marco was living with a new partner, a woman named Paula. Paula was a hard-working mother of 3, trying to regain custody of her children. They worked together at a restaurant owned by a man named Victor Molina. Victor, the restaurant owner, quickly noticed Marco's instability. In a jealous rage, Marco destroyed a bathroom door and allegedly assaulted Paula, who confided in co-workers but refused to report him, fearing it would cost her the chance to regain custody of her children. She was drug testing weekly and saving money to leave. Marco later lost his job after being suspected of stealing a knife. On May 17, 2023, neighbors heard Paula screaming for help. Victor rushed over, but Marco calmly claimed she was asleep. When they went to call police, Marco stepped out and fled. When police entered, the scene was horrific. Paula was found lying on the floor, her life taken by 14 stab wounds. A manhunt began immediately, but Marco didn't go far. Less than 6 hours later, he was spotted at a nearby bar. He was arrested while calmly drinking a beer. He didn't resist. This brutal murder of Paula was a tragedy in itself. But as news of the arrest spread, it reached Italy. Elisabetta, Sibora's mother, felt the old wound rip open. Her daughter's ex-boyfriend was now a confirmed killer, but no one could expect that a simple glance at a bulletin board would solve a 9-year-old mystery. Marco was taken to the police station as officers escorted him through the hallway. They passed a bulletin board displaying cold cases. Among them was the faded poster of Sibora Gagani. According to police testimony, Marco stopped. He looked at the face of the woman he had dated a decade earlier. In a moment that stunned investigators, he dropped a bombshell. He told them he wanted to cooperate because the memory would haunt him forever. Marco confessed that he and Sibora had argued years ago. He admitted that he had killed her, but the most shocking detail was what he did with her. He hadn't buried her in the woods or thrown her in the sea. He told police he had buried her in the apartment they had once shared. He offered to show them exactly where. The investigation immediately pivoted. Police rushed to the apartment where Marco and Sibora lived in 2014. It was now occupied by another couple, who had no idea they might be living with a corpse. Specialized teams arrived with densitometers and microcameras. They drilled small holes, searching for cavities in the walls. At first, nothing. 3 searches yielded no results. But investigators refused to give up. They pulled the building's original floor plans. They noticed something strange. The apartment had a twin unit on the same floor. When they compared the two, they realized the bedroom in the suspect apartment was smaller. There was a space unaccounted for. A specific wall looked identical to the others, but the measurements didn't add up. On June 6, 2023, officers swung their sledgehammers. Behind the false wall, they found a wooden crate. It was filled with lime to mask the smell of decomposition. As they carefully removed the lime, they found a plastic bag containing a knife with dried blood. Beneath that, a bouquet of flowers, a twisted token of affection from a killer. And finally, inside a camping sleeping bag, the human remains of a woman. DNA samples collected from Elisabetta confirmed what the family had feared for nearly a decade. The body was Sibora Gagani. An autopsy revealed she, like Paula, had died from multiple stab wounds to the back. Marco was now facing charges for 2 murders, but when it came time to testify in January 2024, his story changed yet again. He submitted a 17-page handwritten letter regarding Paula. He claimed self-defense, alleging she attacked him over a debt and infidelity. But his story regarding Sibora was even more bizarre. He admitted to hiding the body, building the wall, and living with the corpse for days, but he denied killing her. Marco spun a wild tale involving the Albanian mafia. He claimed he had borrowed 25,000 euros to start a brothel, but had the money stolen. He told the court that 4 armed men came to his home to collect the debt. He alleged that one of the mobsters killed Sibora during the confrontation. He claimed the mobsters told him his debt would be forgiven if he disposed of the body. So, he built a wall. Prosecutors and police viewed this as a desperate fabrication by a man with a history of manipulation. After 5 months in the morgue, Sibora was finally returned to Italy. Her family held a funeral, releasing balloons into the sky for the girl who just wanted to be free, while Marco sits in custody, facing justice for the murder of Paula and the 9-year concealment and alleged murder of Sibora. 2 families are left to pick up the pieces. The discovery behind the wall solved the mystery of where Sibora went, but it also exposed the terrifying reality of a man who could smile at his neighbors, go to the gym, and live a normal life, all while knowing exactly what was hidden just a few inches behind the bedroom plaster. If you found this case compelling, please like the video and subscribe. We cover true crime cases every week. Stay safe and stay vigilant.